with a proposed vehicle mileage tax being talked about at Sandag that would tax drivers per mile. People have some strong feelings about it.
We first reported on the problem several months ago. Now, business owners near Naval Station San Diego say prostitution is once again running rampant in the area.
Could a fourth booster shot be on the way? We talked to doctors to get you answers.
Streets in City Heights torn apart, and citizens say nothing is being done about it. A Your Stories investigation.
Though it's covered in spiders and cobwebs, its message still rings true for this Allied Gardens neighborhood.
News 8 at 6 starts now.
It's causing a lot of outrage among San Diegans, and some of them are making their voices heard tonight. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. Drivers who are already facing $5 an hour gallon gas in some parts of the county could soon be facing something else. Sandag, the region's transportation planning agency, is considering a vehicle mileage tax that would charge drivers for every mile you drive on the road.
News 8's Brian White is live in La Mesa, where a town hall meeting to voice opposition to this proposed tax is about to get underway. Brian?
Marcelo and Carlo, this is a lightning rod issue for sure. We're here in La Mesa at the community center where they're holding a town hall meeting in opposition to this proposed vehicle mileage tax. Now, we spoke with a number of people today who have strong feelings about this issue.
These are county politicians that just want more of our money.
Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, organized a town hall in La Mesa in opposition to the proposed vehicle mileage tax that Sandag is considering.
Where does the money go? It doesn't go to improve the roads. This goes to continue to front their projects of utopia.
In an attempt to generate more revenue for their $163 billion regional transportation plan, Sandag is considering a vehicle mileage tax for San Diego County that would tax drivers 4 cents per mile.
With the average driver in San Diego County putting about 15,000 miles on their car, you're looking at an immediate increase in your cost of living just to drive a car each year, $600 per driver.
My costs are going to go astronomically high.
Shafiq Obaid is an Uber driver, and he says a mileage tax would crush his livelihood.
It's hard enough to make a living with the cost of gas and everything the way it is today. Plus that on top of it, this profession won't be worth it anymore.
Not only Uber and Lyft drivers would be affected, but any business that relies on delivery drivers or service trucks would see increased costs. Sandag says that if eventually approved, the tax wouldn't take effect until the year 2030.
We're talking about making some significant investments in the transportation system between now and 2030. In fact, we want to make public transit free.
One point of contention is how this mileage tax would actually be tracked. And so far, a few ideas have been mentioned, such as cell phone tracking or odometer checks when registrations are renewed.
It's ridiculous. I mean, how am I going to make a living if I'm putting thousands of dollars in registration costs a year?
While many questions remain unanswered about this proposed tax, Shafiq is worried about the future.
Everything is going up in price. And this is just something else on top. I mean, how are we supposed to survive?
Now, this town hall will be getting underway at 6:30 here at the La Mesa Community Center, and you're encouraged to come on down to voice your opinion. Carlo?
Thanks, Brian. There are a lot of strong feelings out there about this proposal, and it's still just a proposal. We're going to share some of the comments we've received about the mileage tax on our digital platforms. That'll coming up in a few minutes.
Stuff that we're talking about that could be in the 2030s or 2040s or 2050s. We will get there. We'll figure it out. There will be a robust public input process. But right now we're focused on making sure that people can put food on the table, a roof over their head, and get their kids into the classroom. That's what today's about.
That was Mayor Todd Gloria responding today to driver anxiety over that proposed per-mile tax. The mayor said that the idea is, quote, speculative at this point and has been considered as part of a regional transportation plan. It's been considered in the past. He added that much more needs to be done to make car alternatives more viable before a tax like this is put into place.
And breaking news just 1 hour ago, it looks like the Padres have found a replacement for fired manager Jace Tingler.
Reports are that longtime manager Bob Melvin is headed here to San Diego to lead the Padres. John Howard joins us now with more. John?
Yeah, and word is the Padres have agreed to a 3-year deal with Bob Melvin. He is highly qualified, a 3-time winner of Manager of the Year honors, but he has yet to lead a team on a long playoff run. Reports come from AJ Cassavell, who is the Padres beat writer for MLB.com. He reports Melvin has agreed to a 3-year deal, even though the A's exercised their option with Melvin this past June, which was to keep Melvin in Oakland through next season. Melvin has 19 years of managerial experience. He previously managed the Mariners and Diamondbacks and has spent the last 11 years with the A's. In those 11 seasons, he has led the team to the playoffs 6 times, but never made it past the divisional series. He is second on the A's all-time managerial wins list, behind Connie Mack, who managed the A's for 50 years. Mack has an untouchable number there. The Padres have been looking for a new manager since firing Jace Tingler at the end of this past season. We'll keep you posted.
Could a 4th booster shot to fight COVID-19 be on the way? Researchers with the CDC are looking into the idea for people with compromised immune systems.
This as the nation is still finding its way out of the pandemic, and a lot of people still trying to get that 3rd shot. News 8's Kirsten Holmes is in our newsroom tonight with a look at the early research and joins us now with the details. Kirsten?
You know, hearing the words 4th shot sounds alarming, but this added layer of protection, researchers say, is only for the seriously immunocompromised and not for the general public. I talked with a doctor to get more information and the family who could be affected. Take a listen to what they had to say.
Looking at when reinfections begin to occur, it's become clear that revaccination helps people who didn't get as big a boost first time around.
Dr. Robert Schooley is a professor of medicine at the University of California, San Diego in the Infectious Diseases Department. He says a 4th booster shot for the immunocompromised is a good idea.
There are people who can get into real trouble if they get infected. So we want to have them have as strong an immune response as possible if they get exposed.
But at the moment, they can receive up to those 4 doses.
The CDC is updating its recommendations this week to say that the seriously immunocompromised can get a 4th booster shot 6 months after their 3rd dose. So, how do you know if you're affected?
It's not for most of us. It's for a small group of people right now that we need to kind of try to tune up as best we can as the virus circulates. There are renal transplant patients, people with lymphoma, people who are on immunosuppressive drugs for some connective tissue diseases.
And I'm glad that we have more of this.
Cassie Swartout's husband is immunocompromised. She says they welcome the idea from the CDC to help keep them safe.
I think that they look at the science, and I'm comfortable with the decisions that they make. In his situation, their booster, their 3rd dose, is probably just making them fully vaccinated.
Especially after their family struggled for months to stay safe and uninfected before having access to vaccines.
We basically didn't see anybody. We stayed pretty much at home. We got only grocery delivery.
Because Cassie says they can't afford not to do everything they can to stay healthy.
A huge concern for me and my family is, what if I got an immune disease or long COVID, or my kids did? We're adding that on top of our other expenses for his chronic illness, and that's not financially feasible, and you'll go bankrupt, and you'd still have to find a way to keep treating that condition.
Now, the CDC is not calling this 4th shot for the immunocompromised a booster shot. It's only being referred to as an additional dose and will only be half the dosage of other vaccines. Again, this 4th or additional dose is only for the severely immunocompromised. Please see your doctor first before getting those shots.
Thanks for clearing that up, Kirsten. Homicide detectives are investigating the death of a man whose body was found inside an apartment in Hillcrest. He was found last night in the 3700 block of 8th Avenue. Police say the 60-year-old man suffered visible trauma to his body. His name isn't being released until all of his family members are notified. There's no word on a suspect description. Anyone with information about this case should call the San Diego Homicide Unit at 619-531-2293.
People who live in City Heights say their roads are deteriorating and the city isn't doing anything about it.
This is one of your stories. Tonight, one woman shows News 8's Shannon Handy what she and others deal with on a daily basis.
If you think this road here behind me is bad, you should see the surrounding areas. We took a walk with a resident here in City Heights to see just how extensive this problem is.
The cement is bulking, there's potholes, there's crevices where disabled people cannot go through.
For Susan Graham, a trip to the bus stop or neighborhood store isn't always easy.
All right. And that's a normal day.
I first met the 55-year-old while out covering another story. She showed me pictures of her City Heights neighborhood, saying she was feeling ignored and wanted to highlight how bad the roads are here.
We don't need to be discriminated. We need to be heard. We need to be listened to.
Every day, Susan, who is bound to a wheelchair, has to maneuver around streets and alleyways that look like this.
Go all the way around.
She frequently documents problems on her cell phone.
This is so bad. Walk freely.
We visited Susan to see the problem for ourselves. We walked several blocks with her, including 49th Street and El Cajon Boulevard.
The streets are tore up really, really bad here.
She claims the roadways around here have been in disarray for years, and despite her calls and emails to city leaders, nothing has been done.
I've called the mayor. I've called the city commissioners. They never call me back. You want us to pay property tax, rent tax? We're doing that. Fix your streets, please, for us.
Aside from being a nuisance, more than anything, Susan says these streets are dangerous.
I've seen a lady fall down in that hole right there.
Since taking office, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria has maintained fixing streets as one of his top priorities. We reached out to the city regarding the City Heights area. In an email, a spokesperson for District 9 council member Sean Elo Rivera told News 8 there will be pedestrian and bike safety improvements throughout Orange Avenue in City Heights and along University Avenue from Euclid to Fairmont in the future. According to documents detailing those projects, plans include new pavement, wider sidewalks and crosswalks, though a completion date is unknown. Total cost nearly $11 million. The spokesperson added, quote, every San Diegan should have the freedom to safely travel through their neighborhood. The new sidewalks, curb ramps, and crosswalks coming to El Cajon Boulevard will make City Heights a safer place for people to move through. However, in the future, all streets should be designed to prioritize access and safety for all people, and our office is committed to that effort. As for Susan, she hopes that's the case.
We're not asking much. Just stop discriminating us. Listen to us, please. We need your help.
If there's a problem in your neighborhood, city officials say the best thing to do is report it on the Get It Done app. And if there's an issue you'd like us to look into, just email us at yourstories@kfnb.com.
No need to add additional challenges to people dealing with the ones they have right now.
And I love that she's been documenting and really just showing us what the challenge is.
Hopefully we get some action here and get some things fixed.